The final October 26th, buddy.
Oh God, he was doing good. Oh God. Are you kidding me? Let's talk about 308. Don't get me wrong, it was an amazing card. I loved it. It was 2 p.m. for me, and I live a busy, fulfilling life. So I only got to really sit down and properly watch the main card. I was checking in periodically on the prelims to make sure that my parlay was still hitting, which it was. But let's get right into it and talk about Shara Bullet versus Armen Petrosyan. Oh my God, Shara Bullet, his head looks so big with his hair and his beard, like it's crazy. And yeah, he won by a double back fist KO. It was insane. Now for this example, you're going to be Petrosyan, I'm going to be Shara Bullet. Now imagine, we're fighting. Boom, spinning back fist. Oh, you think you're safe? Boom, another spinning back fist. And now you're unconscious. I got home and I turned on the TV with my boys like right when that fight started. And thank God I didn't miss it because that was such a good way to start the card. Things started a little dicey for Shara, but like no one cares about that when you end the fight with a walk-off KO. Shara's the real deal, at least where the striking's concerned. Let's do... Okay, editing Lucas here. Originally in the spot I had Gregory Rodriguez, and I'm going back on that because I've seen the rankings. They're clearly trying to push Shara. They've moved him in to number 14. So let's not have him fight someone backwards. Let's have him go up and do Jared Cannonier at number 8. It's a little bit up the rankings, but Shara likes to strike. Jared likes to strike. Jared has good name value. He's 40 at this point. He's lost his last 2. It's a pretty competitive fight. I think it's something that's winnable for Shara. Let's keep the hype train going. And if Jared gets the win, then he's back on track. Good for him. He shut down the prospect. It's kind of a cool storyline either way. So, and also I realized I forgot to do like the like and subscribe section of the video. So guys, just like and subscribe and comment, whatever. Thank you. Lerone Murphy defeats Dan Ige via decision. I don't think any of us are that surprised. The story of the fight here was just Dan Ige completely gassing out. He cracked Murphy early, but his cardio just like totally failed him in this one. I'm not used to seeing that from Dan Ige. But that being said, Murphy still looked pretty good. He was doing well, controlling the distance, attacking from the outside. He was mixing in takedowns, and he was able to get the win. I don't care a ton about Lerone Murphy yet, to be honest. It's not that I think he's bad. I just don't really care that much who he fights next. So I'm just going to pick some guys that are above him in the rankings and just put them into whatever I have next to me on my screen here. So I'll grab one. And let's let this thing do something. And ooh, who's it going to be? Calvin Kattar. Honestly, it really could have been any of those dudes. He's very close to Calvin Kattar in the rankings. I think Lerone was number 12. Maybe he'll move up after this fight. Calvin's number 10. I don't need to rush Lerone up the rankings, so let's do that fight. Works for me. Moving on to the big boys, Magomed Ankalaev versus Aleksandar Rakic. Magomed spams left hands down the middle and defeats Rakic and earns his shot to be the next one to be knocked out by Alex. And you might say, Lucas, what about the wrestling? Ankalaev's been winning with his hands lately. He's falling in love with the striking. I'm not saying he's not going to wrestle, but I do think he's going to entertain the striking just enough to get caught by Alex and to get knocked out. Look at his last couple fights. The Rakic fight, I don't think he shot any takedowns. He maybe just defensively grappled. The Johnny Walker fight, he struck. He knocked him out. His hands are looking good. The Jan Blachowicz fight, he was striking. He only mixed in the grappling because his legs were getting obliterated. I just worry that he's falling in love with it too much and it's going to get him caught. And funny enough, I got lucky and I was able to talk to Ank and his team, and they actually told me he was planning on striking with Alex. Here's a photo of it. You can check that out. 100% real. Now let's look back at the rankings for Rakic. With light heavyweight, the fights that I really want to see, to be honest, are Yuri versus Roundtree and Hill versus Jan. And I guess that just leaves Rakic to fight Krylov, right? And I'm not mad at that. UFC, I just matched your whole top 7 in light heavyweight. Make those fights. I think that's, come on, Yuri versus Roundtree? I know some people are saying that they want to do Roundtree versus Rakic or something like that, but like I just feel like you can't pass up on a Yuri Roundtree fight. No, this is another brutal one for me. I'm a huge Robert Whittaker fan. I watch Robert Whittaker's podcast. I root for him in every fight. I thought he was going to beat Khamzat in this matchup. I really did. But Khamzat tapped him out in the first round. He tapped so fast. His jaw got destroyed. Did you guys see the photo? If you saw the photo, I'll put it here. His jaw was all the way. His teeth were like in. It was so gross. Like, I feel like I was gonna, just by looking at it. So I really wish him a speedy recovery. But damn, dude, it's kind of been hard to be a Rob fan right now because every fight I pick him in, I just feel like he's gonna get finished. He's so finishable. And he fucked up my parlay. But don't get me wrong, I still think he's a great fighter. I'm still going to root for him. He probably needs surgery and a little bit of time off, but I hope he comes back, and I hope he comes back prepared. That being said, Khamzat is an absolute monster. Nobody imposes their will like Khamzat. Khamzat versus DDP, which is the fight that I need next, is literally just a battle of who can impose their will more. And I know Lucas Tracy popularized the term impose your will, but I love it, so I'm using it. And I really don't know who I'm going to pick in that matchup. I've been seeing other MMA content creators saying, oh, I think I'll pick Khamzat. DDP has been put in bad positions in his other fights on the ground. Like, dude, when has bad positions ever been a problem for DDP? There's no such thing as bad positions for DDP. He's just, I don't know what else to say, you know? But if Khamzat beats DDP, look at the rankings and tell me who's going to beat him. Oh, look, they're right here. I'll make them big. I'll get out of the way. Yeah, that's right. Nobody. Nobody until. But in all seriousness, I know Bo Nickal still has a lot of room to grow in his MMA game. He needs to prove that his striking is good. He needs to beat other contenders and work his way up to Khamzat should Khamzat win the belt. But if he does do that, I think the wrestling exchanges are going to be very, very interesting. I'm not sure what his grappling defense will be like, what his submission defense will be like, but like the pure wrestling, like, I don't know. It's really exciting to me. As for Rob, I don't know. I think Baralho's the fight that makes sense. I think it's a competitive fight. I think it's winnable for both guys. Oh, God. I can't believe I have to talk about this fight. Max Holloway gets knocked down by Ilia Topuria and finished via ground and pound. Notice I did not say flatline KO'd or brutally slept. And that is because I am coping. I am praying that Max's chin is still somewhat intact. He'll be able to take a bit of punishment in the future. I don't want it to be like his chin is cracked and now every time he gets touched, he's just wobbling, chicken dancing all over the octagon or just going to sleep. Like, that would be just, oh, that would be so terrible. But I'm optimistic. And Max was looking good. His boxing was clean. It was. When Ilia was going first, Max was doing a good job of intercepting him with a lead hook or circling out. Or when Max was going first, he was stinging Ilia with his jab. But he isn't as good of a boxer as Ilia. As sharp as Max looked, Ilia also has a granite chin. He's incredibly durable. Max was hitting him, but it didn't really matter. He maybe got stunned a couple times, but he has such a good poker face. Who really knows? He is incredibly powerful, obviously. He's a knockout artist, and he is devastating, really, really skillful combinations that open up his opponents to the final finishing blow. God, dude, he's so good. I don't know who's beating him.
Max Holloway, back
oh, no, what's that?
What do you want next?
We have to stop this.
Lopez is in the arena right now.
Yeah, he is. Volk, go back.
Wants
you don't want this. You don't want the rematch. He doesn't want the rematch. No, don't turn around. Volk, go. Don't turn around. Oh. Yeah, Volk is getting slept again. Watching him walk into the octagon after that fight was like the most embarrassing, unintimidating thing I've seen in a really long time. Honestly, it was just a rough watch. But he wants that fight. Ilia wants that fight. It seems the UFC wants that fight. They're going to do the rematch, unfortunately. I honestly just really want to see Ilia versus Islam because after last night, it's the only fight I think will actually be competitive. But they're doing the Volk fight. And as much as I want to see Ilia move up, it's not right. There are guys like Diego Lopez who are putting it on the line. They're fighting frequently. They're fighting awesome fights. And they deserve to get a shot. They shouldn't be waiting, right? So Ilia should stay. He should defend his belt against Volk, against Diego, maybe one more time. And if Islam's the champ, or whoever's the champ up there, then Ilia can move up, and we can see a crazy, competitive, awesome fight. And Ilia could go down as a GOAT. Especially if he gets a second belt. Ilia could go down as a GOAT of the sport. Like, he's just so good. Maybe it's recency biased, but like, who knocks out Max and Volk back to back? He has had the best year. I know Alex has had a great year. I know he's been knocking people out. I know he's been fighting frequently, like 3 fights in 175 days or something. But it's against Khalil Roundtree. Like, it's not Max and Volk knocking them out. That's fucking insane. It's insane. As for Max, let's have him take a little bit of time off before he moves up to lightweight for good. That's the move for him. And for his next fight, it has to be defending the BMF belt. It does. So the person that he fights has to be a BMF. And I feel like at lightweight, I don't want to see him fight like Poirier again. Whatever. He's not going to fight. He should fight Hooker, and he should fight Oliveira. If Oliveira loses, or if Oliveira wins, honestly, he can fight Max. Max should still be considered a top guy at lightweight. He lost at featherweight. He knocked out Justin Gaethje the last time he was up there. He should be treated as a top contender at lightweight. Win or lose, he could fight Oliveira. Or he could fight Hooker, which is a fight I'm not mad about because that fight would be a barn burner. And I do favor Max to win that one, like, fairly easily. It's not like Hooker's going to have crazy knockout power, which is something that's going to be good after, Max just got knocked out. He needs some time to recover. Do either one of those fights. I'm cool with them both.